Imagine you're stuck in a long meeting and your coworker is taking everyone's lunch order. You say you'd like a sandwich, and they end up ordering you a tuna fish sandwich, which is not your thing. Since you didn't clearly communicate exactly what you wanted, you didn't get a great outcome, despite your coworker's willingness to help. AI works similarly. It's best when you communicate clearly to get what you want. You need to make sure you're giving it detailed instructions and asking good questions. This is called prompting. When you prompt AI, there are many ways to go about it, but the key principles are being clear and providing context. We'll start with a framework you can use to make sure your prompts have clear directions and relevant information. This gives you a solid structure and guidelines for what to say to AI so you aren't guessing. I'll show you how this works in Gemini. Consider this scenario. You're looking for advice on how to make a meeting more effective. We'll start by going to gemini.google.com. First, describe the persona that you want Gemini to take on. That means decide what expertise or knowledge you want Gemini to draw from before explaining what you want. In this example, you could tell Gemini to take on the persona of someone who's highly experienced with large projects, which tend to require lots of meetings. You are a seasoned team leader with a proven track record of managing large projects. Then, describe the task you want AI to help you with. Give me some tips for running more effective meetings. Next, specify the format by telling Gemini what the output should look like. It could be a list of pros and cons, bullet points, or a specific length or tone. Let's format your response as a bullet list. Now you need to set the context. Ask yourself, what does AI need to know in order to get this right? For starters, AI doesn't know how large your company is or how teams work together. It also doesn't know your unique challenge, which is making clear decisions during status meetings. We'll add, our teams often work cross-functionally, and we're struggling to make clear decisions on some aspects of the project during our status meetings. One more note on the framework. There are plenty of ways to construct an effective prompt. The order in which you construct a prompt is less important than the substance of the prompt itself. Now let's run our prompt and see what we get. Okay, the idea of assigning a dedicated decision maker and a note taker is interesting. It does help to know who has which role before the meeting starts. Make sure to check the output AI gives you before you use it. This is a crucial step. In some cases, the first response you receive may have room for improvement. Maybe the different folks on my team work in different time zones, and it's hard to get the dedicated decision maker in the meeting because it's outside of their working hours. You can add this context right into the same chat and ask it to update its advice based on the additional information. Prompting is a foundational skill for getting great results with AI. Here are a few more tips that can help elevate your prompts. Provide an example or a reference. Just like seeing an example helps you understand a task, giving one to AI helps it understand your needs. If you're looking for advice on running a meeting, attach a past agenda as a reference. It's also helpful to enlist Gemini's multimodal capabilities when prompting to help it better understand what you're looking for. This means including different types of media in your prompt, like documents, images, or websites. Think about how you would communicate with a hairdresser. You might describe what haircut you want using words, but sometimes showing a picture can be more helpful. You can do the same with Gemini. You may need to use several prompts to keep on improving your output. This process is called iteration, and there's a few ways to do it. First, you can edit your initial prompt. For example, you can add more details to the persona, task, format, or context. Or you can try writing a similar prompt with different phrasing. Another option, you can break up your prompt into smaller parts. Instead of asking for a full solution all in one go, you could first ask for principles of effective decision making. Then you could follow up and ask how you could apply those principles in your meetings. Finally, you could ask for a meeting agenda that will better enable decision making. This process helps AI to reason through each part of the request at a time. You're focusing it on a smaller task and checking in along the way. Finally, you can add constraints into your prompt. Constraints are requirements that the AI should meet. For example, provide solutions that can be implemented within a week, or don't suggest lengthening the meeting. Okay, one last tip. Remember to use one chat per topic. That's because everything you enter into a single chat becomes context for AI. This is possible because of long context windows, meaning you can keep the chat going and even return to it days or weeks later and pick up right where you left off. But if you switch to a new topic in that same chat, things might get confused. So when changing topics, always start a new chat. Putting this framework and tips into practice is the key to effective prompting. This approach will help you better guide AI towards the results that you're looking for. And the more you practice, experiment, and get more comfortable, the better your results will become. Most importantly, as you continue writing prompts for different types of tasks, the way you use AI will evolve from just giving it simple commands to having ongoing collaborative conversations that add more value to your work. For example, once I planned a trip and I found that it was really useful to add the ages of people who were traveling, and then to return in the future when the dates change to find out, did the itinerary that I had before work or did it need to be updated? Ready to keep building from here? Let's go.